Today in studio, I have Nick Hoffman, General Manager and co-founder of Line Booker. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Lizzie Bay.
So Line Booker is an online transport bidding platform.
That's right.
What does it do?
So basically, in general terms, a customer will place his load request on the online bidding platform. It takes about 40 seconds. The minute he hits enter, 133 transporters gets an email notification that this load is now active on our platform.
Yes.
And then in turn, they will start bidding for this requirement. This window stays open for 2 hours. And after 2 hours, the bidding closes, and then the customer's got the choice then to accept or decline the load.
Yeah.
If the customer accepts the load, we got a fully fledged transport execution team that takes custody of this load, so to speak, and looks after it from loading point to offloading point. At the end of the day, obviously, the customer pays us, we pay the transporter. The two are completely independent, so the transporter is obviously guaranteed of his payment irrespective of what happens to the customer and vice versa. So in short, Line Booker, best price in a 2-hour time window, every single time for every single load. Full transport execution from start to beginning. We take care of everything from goods in transit insurance right through to the end and all admin.
And this makes it convenient for the customer.
Oh, absolutely. So from a customer perspective, I guess the value propositions as follow. We've talked about sort of getting the best price for your load every time.
Yeah.
But also I did mention there's quite a few transporters in our system. So we've got 133 transporters actively bidding on Line Booker right now. So from a customer perspective, you've got access to a big supplier range all of a sudden, okay, just by clicking a mouse.
Yeah.
And then also you've got this extended logistics platform that looks after this load from start to finish. So you can basically just monitor what's happening with your load on your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, and then you've got a fully fledged execution team looking after it in the background.
There's no loss of profit somehow with this back and forth.
Well, definitely it's more fair. I think profit is made in these dark holes without having visibility. And I think people have been profiteering of this for quite a long time. So Line Booker cuts that out because we charge a booking fee on a sliding scale, which is minuscule to the load cost.
Yeah.
But it's visible on both sides. So
Yes.
the transporter sees exactly what the customer is paying, and the customer sees exactly what he's paying, obviously.
Yeah.
So there's visibility. And all of a sudden, we can now sort of see now, the minute you add visibility to an industry like transport, opportunistic margin on margin on margin is now something of the past.
Yeah.
Which I think is certainly a disruptor in this industry.
So let's talk about safety. So the ideas about transporting goods, of course, between the transporters. Insurance is important.
Absolutely.
How does that work?
All right, so Line Booker is not open for any transporter. Obviously, we vet all our transporters before they can get onto the system.
So meaning they have to come with insurance already?
Absolutely. That's one of the barriers of entry onto our system. You have to have the necessary goods in transit insurance in place before you can get onto the system. So that's how we take care of it. So every single transporter on Line Booker is a vetted transporter, because at the end of the day, the customer sees the Line Booker invoice at the end of the day. You'll see the transporter coming up to his back door to load product.
Yeah.
But that's the paying party at the end of the day. So we have to make sure that we provide a quality service.
So that you don't face issues like what Uber is facing in terms of safety, which is threatening the business at the end of the day.
Absolutely. So the last thing we want to do is something we're very proud of. We take full chain custody of the load. So from loading point to end, Line Booker takes custody of that load. So if there's an insurance claim, the customer will in turn talk to Line Booker, and our recourse will be against the transporter. Again, making it a lot more simpler for the customer.
Yes. Any other challenges that we face in the business?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge that we faced wasn't so much on the transporter side.
Okay.
You know, initially when we started the system, transporters saw Line Booker as a competitor, but it's anything but. If anything is going to enhance your business, it's going to give you more business.
Yeah.
On the customer side, though, it's the fear of change, because this is a brand new way of doing business. Historically, a customer would have a contract with a service provider.
Yeah.
And that gives the customer the sense of safety from a route to market perspective. But it is only a sense at the end of the day. If there's peak demand for trucks, loads are late sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's converting that. We say to a customer, imagine big corporate, listen, don't put all your loads into Line Booker. You know, contract as you would normally do 80% of your loads on, but keep the 20% variable. and get that benefit of lane balancing, for example. Get that benefit of more transporters bidding for your business in the end of the day. So that has been our biggest challenge, but we're overcoming that slowly. You know, from a takeoff perspective, Limebooker is a division of CCS Logistics, which in turn is a division or a company that owned by Oceana Group.
Okay.
Now, CCS Logistics is a frozen business. Now, I'll tell you this story. In 2013, we decided as a company, because we're a storage business, we're one of the biggest cold store operators in Southern Africa, or probably the biggest. A logical expansion for us was to start with transport services, as given as our customers as one-stop shop solution. How we started is we started a thing called brokerage.
Okay.
Now, brokerage, as you might be aware, a broker doesn't own any vehicles, or he might own a couple.
True.
But basically, the customer says, I want to load a truck from A to B. All right? We quote a price, and then a broker would then start squeezing the price down from a transport perspective. So you make money from making a phone call, really. Okay.
Yeah.
In short. So, and we did very well. The business grew. I mean, customers didn't know any better. So, and for 2 years, this is what we did. And in that lied the gap. We had examples of paying for a truck coming back from Joburg to Cape Town. You pay 12,000 Rand for that load to come back, just to cover cost on the transporter side, because they're desperate to get back.
Yes.
What do you charge a customer? The going rate.
Probably more.
Exactly, way more. So the customer doesn't see that benefit.
Yeah.
Hence where Limebooker, we found that, you know, there is certainly a gap for us to bring this transparency to the industry. And again, it's to find a happy medium between the two parties.
Yes.
So you no longer have a disgruntled transporter and a customer feeling it's a grudge purchase to move my product.
Yeah.
You sort of find a happy medium between the two and bring the two together. And the only way you do that is through visibility and transparency.
Because everyone knows what they're paying and the other one knows what they're getting.
Exactly.
So it's just and you're using technology to do that.
Yeah, we've got an online platform that takes care of that.
Yes, I want us to speak to that because people tend to be, especially this is an industry where people have done it on a face-to-face or via inbox or paperwork, if you like.
Yes.
But now they have to do it on the app. So how is what's the word? How is the uptake to that?
Yeah, initially it was obviously tough, but the nice thing what we did from the start is we combined technology with a human interface.
Okay.
So each one of our customers, they're dedicated with a transport controller. So, and basically the minute that load gets picked up, the transport controller is in constant communication with the customer in combination of obviously what the customer can see on the online app.